Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am doing this show live for a variety of reasons. I know y'all are fans of the Red Review, and you're interested in some of the latest news that we got. We don't do too many live shows for a variety of reasons, but when I do deem them important enough, I want to do more of them, truth be told. Because I really want to take questions from you guys and get answers. Because I go through the Facebook groups, I see all the questions, I try to answer the Facebook groups as much as possible. Quite frankly, I just find myself repeating myself over and over and over and over again. So in the future, I'm going to let you guys know that I will be out here. Give you, oh, wait, until my mic is not on. 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, it sure is.
All right, there we go. I think you guys should be able to hear me now. You should be able to hear me. Oh, wait, hold up. That's not right. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Should sound a lot better now. Sorry about that. I had my mic set to the wrong spot. Well, that's what happens when we do a live show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Enjoy the industry. Thanks for helping me out with that. Like I said, I don't get a chance to do these live shows very often. I really want to do a lot more of them because I do understand that a lot of people have a lot of questions about what's going on out there. And I try to respond in the Facebook groups as much as possible to let you guys know what's going on. And, I just don't have the kind of reach that I would like to, because quite frankly, I find myself repeating myself a lot of the times, and it only gets to a small group. And then a lot of people on the Facebook groups who truly don't know who I am or truly don't know what we try to do here. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is that you guys always see me do all the accessories, and there's a lot that you don't see. And there's a lot of things that we've done on the channel that has never, we've done for the channel that has never made it to the channel for a variety of different reasons. And so I want to touch on that a little bit later as well. So that's the reason for this show, just to update you. Like I said, like you saw in the thumbnail, this is about the Cybertruck and the PCS2. Now, just to recap real fast, the PCS2, in case you hadn't heard of it, if you've had a Cybertruck for any length of time, you probably have heard of it. It's the one where we should have had a recall on this product because this is the one that gives you that AC charging fail. What the PCS2 board actually does is convert the power from converts it from AC charging at home to the DC power that your battery actually uses. And so what was happening was you'd notice a charge rate drop down to 24 amps, from 48 amps down to 24 amps. And eventually the board would just stop charging, and it would, the truck just wouldn't be able to charge off AC power and possibly even DC power, depending on if the truck went into a protection mode and then stopped the charging. Well, it's affected thousands of trucks. That's the bottom line. It affected my truck as well. And basically everybody that I know that has a truck that's owned it for at least a year, it's absolutely affected them. And it's quite systemic. To my knowledge, the 2026 vehicles are not affected. There might be some 2025s. In fact, I know there are some 2025s affected. And it goes up to a VIN number. The highest one I've seen is about 77,000 that was affected with this recall. And so it could potentially have a lot of problems. Well, especially on the 2024 trucks, there are a lot of folks that went beyond their basic warranty, which expires at 50,000 miles. And this is really important because for a long time, Tesla didn't even acknowledge that this was a problem. And to replace it, some people were charged over $7,000 to have this board replaced. Well, there have been so many people that have had this issue that Tesla relented at a certain point and said, okay, even if you're outside of your basic warranty, they were going to replace it for about $1,000. Well, heck, it's still out of $1,000, which is what it clearly amounts to a manufacturer defect. And so there's still a lot of people that are quite upset about that. So I've been on this crusade, I know now for about the last year, in trying to get Tesla to issue a recall on the truck for this part, because make no mistake about it, it absolutely needed a recall, because it's not a question if these boards were going to go bad. It was just a question of when. And all of the older boards, I think there were about 3 different versions of the board that came out. And I know mine was on, my first version failed, and the second version, that's the one I'm on now. And a lot of people have had problems. So I know for a fact, my board will probably fail sometime in the not too distant future. I already know this. I'll be prepared for that. Well, that's the current state of things all the way up until yesterday. I am getting reports and confirmations that Tesla has changed their stance on this. And so they're now rolling it into the battery warranty of all things. So now they're extending the warranty up to 8 years, 150,000 miles. So this is not quite the recall we had hoped for, where it say, hey, you know what? We know there's a problem with the board. We don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but we know there's a problem. Let's just go ahead and replace it. No, that didn't exactly happen, but we got the next best thing. I mean, 8 years, 150,000 miles, you're probably either going to sell the truck, or if you hadn't had a problem by that point, hopefully you won't have a problem at that point. Hopefully your board is good. And we do have a little bit of that on here. I'll show you. We've had reports like this on here, where we've had this guy, Gerard. He brought his Cybertruck in, and you can see where the Tesla service center was telling him that it's now covered. So even if you are outside of your basic warranty on the Cybertruck and your PCS2 board goes bad, you're covered now. You just bring your truck in. Now, having said all of that, the issue with all of this, and to give you an idea how bad it's been, many people that have had this PCS issue are literally waiting months to get their vehicles repaired, and because the parts on back order. That's how many different vehicles have had these issues. I mean, it's craziness around here. And so I take exception with all of that in terms of them not being responsible. I really do, because this is obviously a problem with the vehicle, and it deserves a recall. And this is good. Don't misunderstand me. This is good. I appreciate this, but it really does need to be a recall. You shouldn't even have to go through this. But yeah, it's been on months of back order. So if you actually have the problem with the PCS, if you get that message, if your truck slows down to 24 amps, or if you get the message AC charging, immediately put in a service ticket. And I say immediately because, number one, you're going to be put into queue, and it may take a few months, but you should still be able to DC supercharge. And Tesla will issue a software update to your vehicle within the next day or so, or possibly that same day, depending on how fast they're able to process your ticket. Your truck will get an update where you will be able to supercharge for free. So that's why I say do it immediately, get it done, get it on the schedule, and hopefully when the part comes in, you get to take care of it and call it a day. So that's it on the Cybertruck front in terms of the PCS issues. It's quite a bit to deal with. But hey, if you have any questions, hit me up on that. Now, moving on along, as I told you before, as I kind of alluded to before, like I said, number one, I'm going to take your questions here on a lot of different things, but you guys have also seen me do a lot of these installs on a lot of the vehicles, and I do get questions about them. And I'm going to do a more in-depth video on this a little bit later. But I wanted to put a bug in here about a couple of the how shall we say, items that there are for sale out there. And quite frankly, this is not anything specific to any vendor. This is not targeted at any vendor. Just keep that in mind. But several of the vendors share the same sourcing materials. And I include not only the third-party vendors, but the ones on Amazon, everything else. So this is not targeting any specific vendor. But I will tell you that there are a few products that I have in my possession right now that, let's just say, they're not up to spec. And I don't think you should be wasting your money on these, because it's just not worth it. And enjoy the industry. Yeah, there are thousands of. He was asking. You don't think there's a recall because obviously they don't have enough of them. There are thousands of them. There are thousands of trucks that are affected, that have already been affected. I mean, when you only have 90,000 trucks out there, and you have something north of 10,000 trucks affected, that kind of would warrant a recall. But that's what's going on. Sorry, side note. The different accessories. I take exception with a couple of accessories. Let's start with the Cybertruck one first, only because I'm on the topic of the Cybertruck. So you've seen this. You've seen this accessory. I know there's a red car on there, but take a hard look at this, okay? See these shades and the way that they roll up? There's a very similar accessory for this, for the Cybertruck, okay? Yeah, they don't have enough parts. No, they don't. And they don't have enough PCS board. That doesn't mean it's not a recall. You see where this accessory, where they have these roll-up shades, they have two of them, one on each side, and they've adapted this to the Cybertruck somehow. I don't know how. And that's like a Chevy whatever. But they've adapted this accessory to the Cybertruck, and you can see here they sell it for like $53. It's a little bit more for the Cybertruck. And I'm going to tell you that they use AI a lot of times in these advertisements. And if you look closely, it doesn't even look like a Cybertruck steering wheel in some of the advertisements. And there's a reason why. The shade is garbage. That's the only way I can put it. It's purely garbage. You roll it up and it doesn't even fit the length of the windshield. There's a several inch gap between the top and bottom. It does not look like what's there in the picture, even though that's a car. I think that's what it was really designed for. And somebody said, hey, this will look good in a Cybertruck. Yeah, but the Cybertruck is like a football field long, and it doesn't cover the whole thing. It's kind of that simple. That's problem number one. Problem number two. When you go to roll this thing up, it works the first time. The second time you go to do it, how shall we say, it just doesn't roll up very well. It really doesn't. You got to pull on it and it goes in all crooked. You got to try like 3-4 times just to get the thing go back in. Does it stop the sun? Yeah, most of it. Does it work well and I want to keep it in my window? Well, I already took it out. You guys want a sunshade? You can have it. The regular ones that fold up, I actually did do a review of some a while ago for the actual front windshield, the ones that just folds up and you just throw them up there. Those do actually work. I think they tried to get really smart with these and put them out there. Doesn't work at all. So that's number one shade that, you know what, guys, save your money. Don't do it. And I only bring this up because I'm on Facebook all of the time, and I'm seeing all these advertisements from all the different vendors for these products. And I just can't stand to see you guys waste money on this. Just don't do it. And that's it in general. The second one that I take exception with. Now, this one is for the Model Y and in theory, the Model 3 as well. And in theory, it's a good idea. I got to agree with you. It's this one right here. I agree with the concept of this, okay? It's basically a black metal bar that goes up at the front of your windshield. And then you press a button and the whole thing extends upwards and covers your windshield. And has an electric motor in it. And it goes all the way to the top and it stays in place. That's how it works in theory. If it worked just as advertised, I would say go ahead and get it in a heartbeat. You would have seen it on the channel and I would have endorsed it and said, okay, this is the way to go. I can't do that. Once again, this is another one that you've seen advertised all over Facebook. If you've been in the Facebook groups, you've seen it all over the place. This one I cannot get behind, okay? For a couple of different reasons. Number one, the way that the device is held in place is a couple of suction cups that are on either end. And I think they're about that big. They're about the size of a quarter, each one of them. I've had this shade for over a month now. I have yet to be able to get those things to stick in place. And they supposedly have a little pad on the bottom with a 3M double-sided tape, which works great in theory, except for when you put it in a Model Y, you have the felt that's up there. That's where it attaches to. Double-sided tape's not going to hold to that. It's going to come loose within a day or so. And sure enough, I put it in there. Within a day, the double-sided tape's not holding. The suction cups definitely aren't holding. Those things are a joke. They can't, it's too much weight for it. So either they've got to upgrade the suction cups or they have to lighten the load or they make the suction cups bigger. They got to do something. But as is, that piece of equipment is not only not worth it, but it's also dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is because when those suction cups let go and you accelerate, the whole thing comes falling back into your lap all the way to and hits your screen and could possibly land on the steering wheel. That's what it does. I've had it happen several times to me already. And here's the thing. You think you can pull it up and take it down, but you actually have to plug it into a USB port. And the way that I had it set up, there's a little USB, I don't want to call it a hub, but it plugs into the ODB port, which is underneath the dash. And that's where the wire runs down to. And you plug it in and you secure it. And it's designed for you to tape the button down, which I never did. So it's designed not to ever move. Well, this thing moves all over the place and it comes back into your lap if you're not careful. Not only that, but I think somebody said in the group, the little metal strips that are on it looks like a tape measure. There's these little aluminum things that help move the shade into place. That wasn't too far off from the truth. That's about what it is. And what I've had happen more times than not, like I said, I've had it for almost a month now. Those little metal strips go up, but then the whole thing lets go on an occasion where the fabric and all that separates from the metal strips. And the thing just snap and retracts. So you're left with the little metal strips hanging out and the fabric's back into the mechanism, which is just wacky. In other words, it just stops working. That's the best way for me to put it. It just stops working. I don't know what to say. There's no product I'm going to pay $200 something for, where not only is it not doing as advertised, but after a month, the thing just stops working. That's a waste of your money. And quite frankly, you're not going to make your money back. You're not going to get your money back on these things, especially after 30 days. Not going to happen. So I'm begging you guys, please don't buy this thing. It's total garbage. And I felt strongly enough to do part of a video on that as well. Now, so that's it in terms of the horror stories. That's it in terms of the horror stories. Now, I want to get to a couple of other items here, which I have noticed because some questions came up in the comments. I'm going to give me a moment to pull this up and I will pull it up. Just give me a moment because the vendors have come up with a new trick I've noticed. And I'm going to pull up the Cybertruck one. If you guys have any questions, just throw them in the, just comment there and I'll try to answer them as best I can here. Let's see. I think it's the Cybertruck ambient lighting. Yeah, it's the new one. Oh, here it is. Once again, I'm going to pull up, I'm going to pull this one up. I'm going to pull up Honcho here. Okay. You've seen advertisements for this. The Cybertruck top windshield lights. They're great. They're good. They're good. They work. They work as advertised. I just installed a set the other day, actually. And I'm getting ready to do a video on this, and I'm going to put a video out on it. And I really hope you guys watch it because it's actually not bad. But what I have come to learn is that the vendors have now gotten smarter about how they access the OEM accent lights in the vehicle. So what's special about these lights here is that they actually change colors based upon the accent lights that you have selected on the screen, which sounds novel enough. I mean, they've done it before. It used to be where we went through the passenger door ports and hooked into the CAN bus down there, and I'd have all these wires down in the passenger footwell. That's where they all access. But in fact, in the Cybertruck, in order to access the OEM lights, you actually have to splice into a couple wires, which is not good. I did it, but it's not good. It worked, but I'm sure a lot of people don't want to do that. And I'm sure that voids a warranty or something along those lines. But that's another video for another day. So they've gone this route of accessing the OEM lights, but the way that they do it is a little bit more difficult. It's located behind the dashboard, behind the screen in your truck. Doesn't sound like too much until you realize you basically got to tear your dashboard apart in order to get to the accent lights to put the module in line with the accent lights that's running around your dashboard and around your doors as well. When you start realizing that, you start realizing this is not a simple install like the other ones were. It used to be where it went through that CAN bus. You just ran the wire up and you just hit it and you just taped the things to the ceiling, and that was that. This, you're pulling whole panels off the dashboard, and this is a lot of work. I was in pain after this one. I'm not going to lie. I was in pain just for those lights. And I've been talking to the vendors about this one. And I'll tell you exactly what I told them, right? I like the lights. I really do. But there's a much easier way to go about this, and a lot better way. I have a video on my channel. Go check out the video where I installed the Model Y LED lights into the Cybertruck. And I got to tell you, I like them better than these. They don't make those lights for the Cybertruck. They just don't. I begged them to do it, but this is what they came up with. This is not better. This is kind of like a sidestep, because now you're restricted to whatever your lights do on on your screen. The other ones, you have that magic lantern app, and you can make it do all kinds of stuff, all kinds of sequences, all kinds of lights, all kinds of colors, completely independent. You just can't control it from the screen. I'm good not controlling it from the screen because you have so many different options. So, and they hook into the CAN bus, which makes them, I take that back. They do not hook into the CAN bus. My bad. They hook into the USB port for power. And so you don't have to do all of this stuff. You don't have to pull half your truck apart in order to put them in, which is a lot better, much better. So I would highly recommend doing that instead of doing this. And I believe it might even be cheaper just to buy those Model Y LED lights. Look for my video on that. So why am I on this whole light tangent? Here's the reason why. Because there is another set of lights. Let's see if I can find this. And it's crazy when you look at these. I don't want to pick on Hansho much. I mean, because it's really all of them. But it's all the same thing. Cup holder lights. Once again, I have these in my possession right now. They look great. They really do. This is for the Model Y, and I believe the Model 3 as well. But I think this is the Model Y L version. Doesn't matter. Just they're going to work the same way. I just don't think it works with the Model 3 because I don't think they've figured it out yet, truth be told. Here's the thing. It seems as though you should just be able to plug them in. But once again, they work with the OEM accent lights in the vehicle, okay? How do they do that? Once again, you used to go through the CAN bus, and that's how they got their information. They're not doing that anymore. They're using a Bluetooth dongle that goes in the driver's side door. And if you look at the instructions on how to put it in, you see that now you've got to basically take part of your door apart in order just for some cup holder lights. Yeah. For cup holder lights, you got to take off your door. That's a lot of work, guys. I'm not going to lie. And I think they downplay it in the advertisements here. And that's the only reason I'm bringing them up. I'm not saying don't buy them. All I'm saying is just know that when you do buy them, be prepared for a little bit more than just a plug and play item. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think they make that clear. They give you all the tools that you need to install it, but it's just not that clear. I use these as an example because guess what? They're not the only ones. I know, right? There are other items that you have in the vehicle. Anything that works off of the OEM accent lights, whether it be the roof lighting or the cup holder lighting or some of the doors in they now have a new thing, both in the Cybertruck and the Model Y, where you now, instead of replacing each individual puddle light that's in the vehicle, they now have one that's daisy chained in, where you basically line them under the floorboard and all that, both in the Cybertruck and the Model Y, and they replace your regular puddle lights that you have there. So now they work with your accent lighting. Well, just like before in the Model Y, if you want those installed in your vehicle, and I'll see if I can find those. They might have them here. Let me see. They're easier to show you than to tell you. Model Y floor. Yeah, I think these are them. Footwell. Yeah. Do believe these are them. So you see how they match the OEM lights. Once again, same idea. It goes into the door. But I have it on good authority that what I'm trying to discover right now, and I'm going to run some tests. I'm trying to figure out whether or not you only need one Bluetooth dongle in that door. And from what I am studying and from what I am learning, I do believe that to be the case, which is actually pretty neat if that turns out to be true. If you have it where you only need one Bluetooth dongle and it controls your cup holders, your footwell lights, your ceiling lights, and all that stuff, that'd be great. That means you only have to go in the door one time, and then everything else you just plug it and, makes it real easy. I would be all for it. I'm going to have an answer for you definitively on that, probably in the next few weeks, as to whether or not that's going to work. I am working on that. Hopefully, cross fingers, it does work with any amount of luck. The Cybertruck has something similar. Let me see if I can get this up. Cybertruck has something similar. Once again, yeah, I know I'm picking on Hancho here, guys, but uh-oh, hang on. Yeah. Once again, OEM screen control in the Cybertruck. And they do work, mind you. They work brilliantly. But just like those ceiling lights you put in, guess what you got to do? You have to run the wire behind the dashboard. It's not like the Model Y where you put in a Bluetooth dongle. Maybe that's what they should do. Put in a Bluetooth dongle. But no, these are all hardwired into your accent lights, and that's how they get the information. It's actually pretty interesting when you do that. It's pretty interesting when you do that. So just know that when you buy these items, this one's only $100. you're going to probably pay somebody $150, $300 in order to pull that dashboard apart. And because I'll tell you right now, when I did it, it was a pain in the backside. It was really a pain in the backside. So that's not something I care to do much of. I really don't care to do a lot of that, but it is what it is. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But yeah, that's what I really wanted updated. So if there's anybody else around, y'all can start putting your questions in the comments. You can start asking questions. I do my best to answer them. Meantime, so you guys can stop me here, but I definitely wanted to get that information out to you guys because I really didn't want y'all wasting your money on a lot of these products. I didn't want you to go running around, spending money on things that don't work. And you should know the truth about some of these accessories that you may order, which are really cool. But they're kind of glossing over the amount of work that it takes to put it in. That's all that I'm saying. Cause I know how I am when I try to put some of these things in, and there you go. So for the folks that are just joining us, I know it was about the Cybertruck. We were talking about the Cybertruck earlier, and how the PCS2 now is being covered for 8 years, 150,000 miles. And that includes the 2024 version. Oh, that was one other thing I forgot to mention. For the 2026 models, I know there was another warranty that they come out with. It was like a high value, I think it was EV. I think it was like a 70,000 mile warranty, I want to be able to say. But it was only good on the 2026 model Cybertruck. And I'm not sure why they put that in there and only covered part of the fleet. That was wrong. It's a thing. If you read your warranty, it's definitely there. So they just have not incorporated this whole 8 year, 150,000 mile. I think they've just finally threw in the towel after they had so many, and people started reporting it to NHTSA. I honestly think that's what happened. It was something else. So there you go. So let's see. Oh yeah, sorry. Enjoy the industry. Yeah, the survivors are in the wrong place. Survivors are in the wrong place, huh? Okay. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, that's funny. Any other questions for me while I am still hanging out here before I get to go blow some stuff up in VR? It's Friday night, guys. It's time to go hit up some video games and go blow some stuff up in VR and have a blast. Before I forget, one of the questions I was getting this week was on the yoke steering wheel. Yes, I have installed them in a couple of different vehicles right now. And you've never seen one on the channel. And there's very good reasons why you have never seen them on the channel. Okay. It's because every time I've installed the yoke, I've since had them installed in the Model 3 twice. And I had it installed in the Cybertruck. And when I had it installed in the Cybertruck, it bricked the truck because the steering wheel actually spun around while it was being installed. And when they pushed on the steering wheel, it crushed the steering control module. That's what happened. Those things are not to be played with. You got to get somebody really experienced in putting a yoke into the vehicle. If you think you're just going to do it and install it, it sounds like a good idea on the front end, but in reality, it's a problem. It's a real problem. It's never as straightforward as it seems. That's kind of true of all of the installs that we do here. None of these installs, I wish I could show you a lot of the BTS footage of what we do. None of these installs ever go as planned. They all have their own challenges. But that's why I do the videos, so that you guys can understand what those challenges are and you don't make the same mistakes I did. But the yokes, in terms of getting those installed, the center plug, the center screw in there, that's tightened to 80 Newton meters. it's some of them have been so tight in there. We've used breaker bars trying to get them out. Couldn't do it. I eventually had to take it to Tesla and have them do it, and got charged a nice little fee for that, just to have them to take the center screw out, because it was also pretty much stripped as well. It was way over tightened, and that's why I had to do it twice on the Model 3. The second time we did it, we got it done, we got it installed, but it was tough. But yeah, it bricked the Cybertruck. Cybertruck was absolutely bricked. It's just been problematic. That's all I can say. But that's why you've never seen a yoke. I have another one on the way for the Model Y. Maybe we'll show that one. Cross fingers. Maybe we've messed this up enough times, we'll finally get it right. But just know the yokes are problematic. But I will also say at the same time, they're worth putting in, because I've been very happy after they've gotten in, even after all the money I spent fixing the problems. I would absolutely go back and do it again. So don't let that deter you from buying the yokes. The yokes, they are actually worth it. They're just, whew, they're painful. Going forward, the upcoming stuff that I have sitting in my garage right now to put in, I am kind of excited about. I will say that I'm very excited about, and you guys should be seeing things here in the next few weeks. Don't forget, send me requests, put comments down in the video below. I do read every single comment. I read all of them. Or you hit me up on X, something of that nature. Let me know what you want to see. Okay. Let me know what accessories you want to see covered, because that's the only way I know what you want to see. Otherwise, I'm kind of shooting in the dark over here. I can get them installed, but the whole point of this is to help you guys out. That's the whole point. It's not for me. It really isn't. I know a lot of people think it is, but it really not. It's to help you guys out, because I know how hard it is as a new owner, especially, and not being a mechanic right off the bat, but you want all these nice things in the vehicle to help make your life so much easier, like the screen swivels and things of that nature. That's why I do the videos. And so it takes a lot of effort to make those videos happen. So I get my reward when I know I've helped y'all out, and making sure that you guys don't make the same mistakes, and hopefully save you guys money and save you time getting these things installed. So that's why I said, make sure you comment and let me know what you want to see. If there's a specific item that I have not covered that you want to see for your vehicle, let me know. I have everything except the Model X, just so that you know. Model X is the only vehicle that I don't have. So I'm talking new vehicles, 2024, 2026 plus. So the Highland, the Juniper, things of that nature. I don't have any of the older vehicles. Sorry, guys. But some of the stuff carries over. It really does. So that's why I say, let me know what you guys want to see on the channel. I'll do my best to install it, get a hold of the item, and show you guys how to install it, and let you know, honestly, let you know if it's worth it. I'm not putting anything up on it on the channel that's not worth it. If you don't see it on the channel, either I haven't had a chance to review it yet, it's garbage, or it was so big of a pain that I don't think you should be trying to do it. Kind of like the yoke. But, I'll say do it, but just know it's going to be pain. Things like seat covers, the screen swivels, the refrigerators. I reviewed all of those. I gave you my real thoughts on those. Those are the kind of things that help your life out. And I think it's actually pretty cool. Now, having said all of that, doing away with all the accessories here. I don't see any specific questions on those, which is fine. But let's talk about the Cybertruck in general. We currently have a backlog of Cybertrucks, okay? And there's a lot going on with that. And I know some of the other YouTubers have covered this ad nauseum, but there's a little bit more to it. So Tesla is suing one of their suppliers that has the dies for the Cybertruck. That's long version short. I'm not going to sit up here and make a 5-minute statement, 15, 20 minutes long for a video. That's not happening. Bottom line is I guess the supplier thought that Tesla owed the money. But if you have a contract dispute, truth be told, you're not allowed to hold on to the equipment without a court order. And so they held on to the equipment. Tesla filed lawsuit to get their equipment back because without that equipment, they can't make Cybertrucks. Kind of that simple. I know we all think that Tesla, has everything vertically integrated and they own everything. They do own everything, but that doesn't mean they have everything under the same roof. In this case, it wasn't under the same roof. It was at their vendor facility, and they're just trying to get their stuff back. And until they get their stuff back, they can't make Cybertrucks. It's that simple. I suspect they're going to be changing some of their processes going forward. Now, having said that, the backlog of Cybertrucks. Yes, there's a backlog of Cybertrucks. I mean, I keep seeing the articles on Facebook. It's like, oh, the Cybertruck is the biggest flop ever. Good Lord. Clickbait. That's all I can say. Clickbait. Here's the reality of the situation. The Cybertruck is not the biggest flop ever. What it is the biggest marketing flop ever. And there's a difference. This truck itself is fine. The way they marketed it was a real problem. And I don't pretend that didn't happen. They promised 250,000 Cybertrucks a year, Well, you marketed a $100,000 vehicle and said you're going to sell 250,000 of them a year. That wasn't realistic, especially on a new platform. That wasn't realistic. But what we have happening now, you can't get a Cybertruck before October. Can't do it. Try going to Tesla and order a Cybertruck right now. Can't get one before October. That's any trim. Doesn't matter. And which kind of surprised me because for the longest time, the Cyber Beast was the lone holdout, which that was about 3 to 4 week time frame. But so it kind of shocked me when I saw the Cyber Beast was still pushed out to October. Because that being the premium trim level, usually not too many people are ordering that one. I don't know for certain whether or not that supplier issue is affecting that October timeframe. I don't think it is because that supplier issue was only going on for maybe a couple of weeks prior to that lawsuit being filed. But the cheaper model Cybertruck is extended well into 2027. The last month I saw it was available for was like April, May, but that was several months ago. So they may well be until August of next year, as far as I know, in terms of the cheapest Cybertruck. If you don't have a Cybertruck and you watch the channel, once again, ask questions, because if you asked me some of these questions before, a lot of people would not have gotten stuck with that base model Cybertruck from last year, and they are wholly burned at this point. Yeah, burn would be an understatement, actually. Yeah, I told anybody that would listen that they do not want that truck. It was terrible. There's no other way to put it. It was terrible. Here we go. So let's take a look. October 2026 for the Cyber Beast. There you go. Premium all-wheel drive. October to November 2026. Last but not least, the dual motor all-wheel drive. 2027. Nothing before October, folks. So people say it's a flop, but I don't know too many flops. You still got to wait till October to get. People that kind of screams people are standing in line waiting for a truck to me. Other folks try to say, oh, well, you didn't You know, they're just not making that many of them, which may be true, but from what I am seeing, they have adjusted capacity to demand. A lot of people ask me, well, what do you think of the dual motor all-wheel drive? Should I get that one at this price or not? And my answer has always been, it's only $10,000 cheaper than the premium. Okay. I would absolutely go premium. It's worth it. I get people are trying to save 10 grand. I understand that. I'm no stranger to trying to save money. That's like I said, I try to save you guys money all day long. Try to spend the 10 grand because you're buying a real premium truck. If you can afford the extra 10 grand, just spend the extra 10 grand. That's my honest opinion. It's because of the suspension. Number one, you have the air suspension. Now you can raise and lower the truck. You have all these other, let's just call them amenities in the vehicle that you're missing in the base truck, such as the power outlets, the stuff in the bed of the truck. These things don't seem like a big thing when you are first buying and you're looking at that $10,000 number. But after you start owning the truck for a little while, you start realizing it's like, hey, it would be really nice if I had this. It would be really nice if I had that. By the time you finish putting the things into the truck to bring it up to premium level, you've spent more than 10 grand. Man, that's the truth. So for instance, one of the workarounds for the outlets, what you can do, especially if you bought this truck, you're not planning on putting the light bar into the vehicle. I'm willing to bet you're not planning on putting the light bar on. You can take the power feed off the roof of the truck and run it down into the cabin with a converter. You use a 48 volt step down to 12 volt converter, and you can now plug in a regular inverter into that outlet. And now you've got a plug in the truck. It's a way to do it. Where there's a will, there is a way. You can absolutely make it happen. But you just got a little bit of work to do and some wiring to run. That's all. It's not, it sounds really complicated. It's actually really easy. They sell the step down converters from 48 volt to 12 volt. And then you just wire it into a little plug. And then you just use a regular 12 volt adapter and you plug that in. That's all you do. And then you just turn the roof power on, or you can run it to the front, same thing. You plug it into the front power. They've got leads up there. If you look up there, you take the front out, you go up there, they have leads that you tie it into. It's actually a lot easier than it sounds. Believe that. That's one of the times I can say, go ahead and do that. That's not a big deal. It's not like taking a dashboard off or anything. Yeah, dashboard. Fun. So go ahead and do that if you have the dual motor all-wheel drive. That's how you get a plug in the truck. But if you can afford the extra 10 grand, hey, have at it, man. Get the premium, be much happier. The other question I get is the Cyber Beast worth it? Is the Cyber Beast worth it? Is the Cyber Beast worth it? Whew. And it's not even that I have to think about it. I really don't. All right. Yeah, it's worth it. It is. And it's not for the reasons that you think. I'm saying that. I am saying that because it's not because of the launch stuff that you have. Okay. That's not it at all. Hang on. It's not because of the launch stuff. It's because you have extra power in the vehicle that you ordinarily wouldn't have. So like when you're accelerating to get on the highway, things of that nature, just running down the street real fast, when you put your foot down, you're gone. I mean, I love the all-wheel drive. Don't misunderstand me. The all-wheel drive is still very good. Now, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just saying the Beast is much better and you're going to feel it. Now, I made a comment on X probably about 2 months ago. I think it was Lars that actually responded to that. I asked him about the torque vectoring on the vehicle and whether or not it drives the same. And I think he said, no, they drive exactly the same. I gotta disagree. They do not drive the same. They drive very similar, but they do not drive the same. Okay. If I go down here to the Cyber Beast, I don't know if it's listed here. I want to see if it's listed. It may not be listed. Okay. It's not. So the Cyber Beast has something over the all-wheel drive that a lot of people just don't know about, believe it or not. The Cyber Beast has 3 motors opposed to the regular all-wheel drive 2. And so, well, okay, what's the big deal about that? Well, whenever you put it into basically 4-wheel drive mode, you lock the differentials on the premium all-wheel drive on the front and the back. You basically lock the differentials, electronic lock. On the Beast, it's not like that. You only have one differential to lock. It's the front one, because you have one motor on the back. One motor on the front, 2 in the back. You don't need to lock the differentials because there's no differential to lock on the back, because you have 2 motors that can operate independently. So the computer just controls the motors in the back. The only one you have to lock is the one in the front, electronic lock. Seems like real minor. And I always thought for the longest time that only was applicable when I'm in off-road mode or if I'm locking differentials, things of that nature. No. Come to find out that these things are working full time. What I mean by that, torque vectoring occurs when, let's say you're driving down the highway and you're going around a turn, and to help stabilize the vehicle in the turn, because believe it or not, the wheels on the outside of the turn move faster than the wheels on the inside. Who thought? The torque vectoring is able to change the speed of the wheels such that the vehicle basically rides a lot better around the turns and the corners and things of this nature, especially even at slow speeds. Now, in terms of the all-wheel drive version, this is normally handled by brakes. So if one wheel is spinning too fast, it'll apply the brake or give it less power and to make that happen. It would apply the brakes to that particular wheel so that the wheel spins slower. In the Beast, it's not like that. Because you have those 2 motors in the back, you can independently change the speed of the wheel without hitting the brakes. So now you've got the actual wheel slowing down due to the thrust. Seems minor, but I swear to you, after driving the Beast for a couple of years now, and I get swapped into an all-wheel drive on an occasion, I feel the difference in the all-wheel drive handling. I do. Laura said it doesn't exist. I will politely disagree with him. There does seem to be a difference. It's very slight, but I do notice it. And so it makes the Beast, I think, a little bit touchier, a little bit more responsive at times when it's in Beast mode. Whereas the all-wheel drive is just not as responsive. But, like I said, I've been driving a Beast for a long time now. That's the only reason I notice. If you drive an all-wheel drive, you ain't going to notice. You're just not. What you'll notice is that when you do jump into a Beast, you might over control it a little bit. You're going to notice it's just a hair more responsive than the all-wheel drive version. That's all you're going to see. So I just wanted to lay that out there. So that was the big one. I've done a video on this. Terrestrial armor pack. This is another question I get routinely. Woo. Yeah. Boy, lots to cover. Terrestrial armor pack. People go, well, should I get it? Should I not get it? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I'll tell you right now. I drive in Atlanta. It's worth it. If you drive around Atlanta, definitely worth it. Have you seen our proud hosts? Good Lord, man. Look like Haley's Comet didn't hit I-75. Yeah. It's worth it. Because for 2 reasons. It's not just, a lot of people think it's just the rocker panels on the side of the vehicle. The rocker panels are made of this really soft plastic. And quite frankly, even if you press your fingernail up against it too tough, that sucker's going to bend and you're going to put an indentation into the rocker panel. The terrestrial armor pack puts a steel bar on the side of that. They remove the plastic completely and they put a steel plate on there. You're not bending that, okay? Not happening. So the terrestrial armor pack protects your rocker panels. That's number one. So if you have those tires that are on the highway and you hit one of those things, I guarantee you, if you don't have this thing on there, it's going to tear up any plastic that you have on the underside of that truck. Your rocker panels are going to be damaged big time. You have the terrestrial armor pack, and all of a sudden, you're good. Yep. Hey, Alan, were you which warranty were you under? You're good on the terrestrial armor pack. You're good with the terrestrial armor pack on the highway if something should hit it. What a lot of people don't know about it is that there is a second ribbed aluminum plate that covers your battery. It covers the whole battery on there. That ribbed plate will protect your battery if you hit any type of foreign debris that's on the highway and bounces up. That extra think of that $3,000 terrestrial armor pack as an insurance policy on your truck. It's to help protect it from anything hitting it. And I include city driving in that. If you're driving on a farm, rural areas, you know how the logs can be. You pop up a tree limb somewhere, it'll damage your battery if it pops up the wrong way. That terrestrial armor pack will help you. So that's why I tell guys, if you can afford it, get it. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, Alan. Yeah, it was out of warranty, and they've started covering it. They've started covering it up to 8 years, 150,000 miles. So that is a great thing. I'm waiting on the official announcement. We have all of the anecdotal evidence. We've seen the statements from Tesla to individual owners that the PCS2 is now being covered even for the 2024 models. So yeah, it's definitely being covered, which is a great thing. So I definitely wanted to get that news out there. Oh, wow, 75,000. What? Nice. My question is, and let me know if some of you guys are in this, if you're in this predicament as well. I know we have a few guys that were over the 50,000 mile, and they were the early ones to get some of the, I shouldn't even call them early because I was the early one that got my PCS2 replaced. Let me know if some of the guys that paid $7,000, I have heard rumors that they might get reimbursed. I've heard rumors. Okay. I don't know if it's true yet. So if any of you guys have been reimbursed for the amount of money you've paid for your PCS2, please let me know. My guess is you're going to get some Tesla dollars. If it's about $1,000, you might get 1,000 Tesla dollars or something of that nature. I don't know if they'll actually cut you a check or not. That'll be real interesting to see if they do. But for them to acknowledge this, I think this is their way of alleviating a recall with any amount of luck. We'll see. But yeah, I thank you guys for all the support in this. Like I said, I've been pushing this for a while, for the last year, trying to get something done. It was crazy when I first put this stuff out there. Nobody believed me. They just thought I was a Cybertruck hater. I'm like, no, I own one. I don't hate the Cybertruck. I just hate the fact that my part is breaking and it's not my fault. Oh. Then all of a sudden, everybody else started figuring it out. Yeah, so that's the PCS2. That's the terrestrial armor pack. If you can afford it, buy it. There's only two downsides to buying the terrestrial armor pack. Number one, you cannot have mud flaps on. No mud flaps for you. Now, having said that, I know what my truck was doing before I put mud flaps on them. I know what they would look like, what it was doing after I put mud flaps on them, and I know what it looks like after I put the terrestrial armor pack on. It's going to sound kind of weird saying this, but after I took the mud flaps off and put the armor pack on, I still really didn't see the kind of spray I did prior to putting the mud flaps on the first time. That's the reason I put them on there. I didn't think I'd need them, but I saw all this crap being splashed up on my doors all the time, and it was garbage. That's the reason I put the mud flaps on. They just did your PCS2 yesterday. But I say that to say the terrestrial armor pack, I think it's deflecting the mud. It's acting as mud flaps. Maybe that's my imagination. I don't know. You guys can share it and let me know. Y'all can let me know on that one. That's number one. Number two, what you're not going to do is put running boards on. Now, this is a problem if you have the dual motor Cybertruck. Yeah. This is a problem if you have the dual motor Cybertruck because it does not have the air suspension. Once again, it goes back to if you can afford the premium, get the premium. For the premium version and up, do you really need running boards? No, you really don't, because it goes to entry mode and it's very easy to get into. That kind of defeats the purpose of running boards. They look cool. I mean, I really love the way they look. We've put them on one of our Cybertrucks here, and I love the way they look. Make no mistake about it. Wow, that's a lot of work, Alan. I love the way they look, but do you really need them? No, not on the premium version. Dual motor? Yeah, you kind of need them. You absolutely need them because the truck doesn't lower, and it's going to be basically at medium ride height the whole time on those springs. You can't raise and lower it. So yeah, you kind of need those running boards. I can see a lot of people trying to get them installed. The problem is if you want the armor pack, you can't have the running boards. So that's going to be a thing for some people. That really is. I don't want to climb all the way up into my truck. I've had my truck sitting in medium and high mode and having to get in and out of it. That's a pain in the backside, man. It is. Wow. So you had your both bumpers front and back replaced. Why? With what? I'm really curious about this now. And oh, by the way, if you got the bully bar, I want to know what lights you got too on the front. Because honestly, I've been looking at that quite a bit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, steel. I don't blame you. I think I know what. Did you get the performance package? I'm willing to bet that's what it is. Got that big old bull bar in the front. Maybe the one with the winch too. Yeah. That the plastic on the front on these bumpers are garbage. They are. I will say, and I don't. Yeah, it does make it. It can make it look old. There is a cheaper solution to that. You can do the Expel armor on your plastic trim. I have it on a few parts of my truck. I did the video with the spoiler that I put on the back of my Cybertruck. If you look at that video, and if you look real carefully, I may have even mentioned it. I had the Expel armor on the tailgate of my Cybertruck, and what it's designed to do, it covers that plastic, and it's this real thick, heavy piece that you glue on there, and it stops all those indentations from happening on your side, on your tailgate, and on the sides of the bumper, and all this other stuff. I had to cut part of that off in order to put the spoiler on the back, and it actually works really, really well when you cut it. And I was able to put the spoiler in there. It works really, really well. But in hindsight, I should have put the Expel armor all up on the sides of the truck on the back near the tonneau cover, all of those there, and on the bumper. That's a way to do it without replacing it with steel. A lot lighter too. Steel is an option. I didn't think about doing the front though. You can also buy the ones that go on the fairings on the side as well. The wheel well fairings. You can buy the Expel armor that covers those too. Because once again, anything touches those things, they're going to scratch and look bad. We have yet to see what's going to happen with the sunlight and all that plastic. My guess is over time, the plastic will fade. It will fade. I mean, and possibly even get brittle. I don't know. It's real soft plastic, so we'll see how well that holds up over time. And I'm willing to bet over time there's going to need to be some aftermarket stuff that needs to be replaced on there because of that. Well, that plastic is cheap. Just calling it for what it is. Same thing. I'm going to go back. Let me go back to the yoke steering wheel for a second. One of the main reasons why people swap out their steering wheels is because Tesla steering wheels, well, they're garbage. They are. They're garbage. They're some of the worst steering wheels I've ever seen. And I don't say that because the way they feel coming out of the factory. I say that because I have yet to get into an older Tesla and see a steering wheel that's not absolutely torn to shreds. That's just what I've seen. Okay. You can hate me for it. You can curse at me and everything else. But that's the way it is. It's just the oils on your hands and all the grease and grime that gets on the steering wheel over time. And whatever solvents are on there, whatever it is, it tears those steering wheels up. Whatever they make those steering wheels out of does not hold up over time. Within about 4 or 5 years, those things are disintegrating. That's the best way for me to put it. So what a lot of people do at about the 4 or 5 year mark, they change out their steering wheel. And I will tell you, at least from my point of view, when I've ever swapped it out with the yokes, it's a different type of leather. It's a different feeling leather that's there. I don't see where these are going to come apart. And they feel a little bit better than the OEM wheels. And so that's why a lot of people swap the wheels out, just so that you know. Now, I don't know if I'd swap out to the Alcantara. I may try that out, but yeah, the Alcantara, I just don't see how that's not going to mat over time. And if you've looked anywhere on some of the vendors' websites, you know what I'm talking about. They sell some of these yokes that have Alcantara yokes, and I'm like, okay, that's great that it's Alcantara, but how's that not going to mat down over time and just look crappy? I don't know. Carbon fiber makes a lot more sense. Leather makes a lot more sense. Those things will hold up. The stuff that you get from Tesla, scary. With the Cybertruck, I would not hesitate to get the yoke. Thus far, everybody that I've let drive my truck with the yoke in it, they go, shoot, it should have came from the factory like this. Should have. Squirkle's good. Yoke's better. I enjoy my Squircle. I really do. I did. Yoke is better. It absolutely works with the Cybertruck really, really well, because if you really think about it, the steering wheel only turns over, 120 degrees, right? That's as far as it goes, 120 degrees. Why do you need a full wheel if it only goes 120 degrees? You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Doesn't make any sense. Just yoke works perfectly. Perfect. That's a way not to waste money. Just get somebody to install it properly and don't brick your truck like I did mine. Yeah. You sense a recurring theme here. Yeah. You got the yoke, Alan? Oh boy, I should have put that up earlier. Yeah, it looks really, really cool. It does look really, really cool. I should have put those up earlier. Hang on, let's see, where was it? Doobie. The Cybertruck. Yeah. Yeah, the carbon fiber ones were good. Where was it? I think it was this is the one. This is the Alcantara one. Once again, I don't see how this thing doesn't mat down over time. Yeah, you have the original Squircle. Yeah, I don't see how this thing doesn't mat down over time. I can't get behind the Alcantara one. This is a combination leather and carbon fiber, so there's something to be said for that. There is something to be said for that. This is the all leather one, which is actually not bad. I wouldn't hesitate to do that. This is the one that I currently have in my truck. And ironically enough, they put it up there. That little screen that you see behind that yoke, that's the reason I had this thing put in here. That was the old C9 unit. I have since removed it for different reasons. If y'all want a longer story on that, I'll give it to you, but don't worry about it for right now. But I have removed it. It's no longer in the truck. But yeah, that's the original airbag that comes with it. That's the original airbag that drops into the yoke, which, like I said, it's pretty good. Here's the part that, well, I guess I could understand. They sell another Squircle because they know the other Squircle is going to degrade at some point. Yeah. And they put, guess what? Carbon fiber on it. You can actually buy these carbon fiber pieces and put them on your Squircle. They sell them separately, believe it or not. It's a little thing that you just slide on there. I don't even think I did a video about those. I may have. It may have been like a short or something. But yeah, you can buy these as well. Once again, before I forget, yeah, that's what the glossy version looks like. If you use the code RedFire20 when you order from Honcho or these other guys, you get 20% discount on all of this stuff. I'm mentioning all this stuff because I don't make hardly any money off of this. I really don't. But I'm just trying to save you guys money, but it also gives you guys a discount. So there you go. Use code RedFire20 and you get a discount on all of it. If you have questions about any of these items, feel free to ask. Like I said, I've suffered through these items, so you don't have to. I've suffered through a lot of them. And I kind of know which ones work and which ones don't. Which is why I tell guys things like this. I wasn't going to go through this. I really wasn't. But got started thinking about it. But like the screen swivel here, I tell guys, get it. I've been on a couple of threads already over the last couple of days. I tell them, get it. Because they were like, well, why should I get it? I don't understand it. I don't know why I should spend the money on it. And I keep saying it's one of these things you don't understand how good it is until you're sitting looking at it. Because you realize you subconsciously, let me know if this reminds me of you when you're driving along. If that's you, get the screen swivel. That's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. I'll get off my high horse. Yeah, we are. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just beating Honcho up over here. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. This is one I sometimes get questions about. The seat covers. They go, well, should I get the seat covers? The answer is yes. For me, it's a no-brainer. All except for my Plaid and my Model 3 Performance, I have seat covers in. I put seat covers in everything because they protect the OEM seats. And I think that's what you're trying to do at the end of the day. So I'm not going to lie. They're a pain in the backside to put in. Yeah, they are. They take half a day to put in. I've put in several sets already. I hate it. This is my number one detest thing to put in. Well, except for now, maybe those accident lights. But they're a pain in the backside. They're not hard. They're not hard to put in. They're just tedious. But they protect your original seats. The only downside to them that I ever see, the Cybertruck, at least not my version of the Cybertruck, I've heard they may have corrected this in the 2026 models. The heated and cooled seats were bad. That's the only way for me to put it. They're bad. They don't put out very much air at all. I feel the difference in my Model Y and the Model S. I feel the difference. Cybertruck 2024 model, bad. So when I put the seat covers on them, it's not like it's going to make it any better. Yes, they are porous. Yes, they do let the air breathe, but yeah, it's just bad. Yes, Alan, there is a screen swivel for the Model Y. I've installed a couple of them thus far. More importantly, since you bring it up, more importantly, be careful of which one you buy. Yes, I'm going to pick on Hancho tonight. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Let's just type it in. All right. This is actually really important. You'll notice there are a couple of different versions of the screen swivel. All right. If you guys consider the screen swivel, always, always, always go for the 2.0 model. Okay. Well, no, let me back that up. That's not true. That's not true. Not always. But there's an important distinction to make between them. The 1.0 model drops the screen like 1 inch. So your screen gets lowered. And I've lowered it in my Y and I've lowered it in my Cybertruck just to get the other kits where I bring it back up again. If your screen seems a little too high for you and you want it lowered, get the 1.0. I think that's the reason they still sell it, truth be told. There are some people that do want their screen lowered, and I can see the attractiveness of that, truth be told. There are reasons why I would do that. If you don't want your screen lowered, and once again, this is true for the Model Y and the Cybertruck. If you don't want it lowered, you get the 2.0 kit. Now, I'm looking at it here. The 2.0 kit is on sale for $116, which is less than the 1.0 kit. Go figure that one. I don't understand it, but that's what's going on. Same thing applies to the Model 3, and I guess they have the Model YL. I guess it's a little different. I have not had a chance to do any installs in the Model YL because, well, I don't have one. If you happen to be in the Atlanta area, you have one, you want me to do some installs on it, give me a holler. The regular Model Ys, yeah, that's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where is it? I will show you what I was talking about earlier. Hopefully, these things here, the ambient door handle lights. Once again, you got to take off all the doors. This one here is a bit of a interesting one. I do have this on the way. I'm going to install it, but I'll let you guys know right now. I'm kind of wary about it because you've got to take the steering wheel all the way off. Remember when I told you earlier that I don't recommend doing the yokes unless you get somebody that knows what they're doing? This kind of falls in that same category because you've got to take the wheel completely off in order to install this mod. Looks really cool when you're done, but just know that you're going to have to do some work. This is not as easy as it looks. Okay. Just all that stuff that I said about the yoke, apply it to this. It's like, it's that serious. I have asked the question if these lights work in the yoke. I've not gotten an answer. I don't have an answer for you on that. I'm going to try to get an answer. I just don't have one yet. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff here. It's interesting. This one right here, I go back and forth on. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I go back and forth on it. Because number one, I know what's involved in installing it. It's not too bad of an install. The usefulness of it is up for debate. And the reason why it's up for debate is because we're supposed to be getting Apple CarPlay in the Tesla. Supposed to be. Keep in mind, I don't have an Apple iPhone, so it doesn't do me any good. I have an Android Auto. This one is also compatible with Android Auto, but it does not talk to the car in any kind of way, shape, or form. Not like that. It just receives information. And so it's this extra thing unless you want it in front of you. If you do it, I highly recommend putting the yoke in. Highly, highly, highly recommend putting the yoke in, because that screen tends to get perfectly bisected by the steering wheel. I don't know who designs these things, but that's kind of the way it goes. When you put the yoke in, you got a clear view of it, and it's a beautiful thing when you install it like that. I think they may do that on purpose, truth be told. I really do. Woo. I really didn't want to go into the accessories and all that, but that's kind of where that was leading. That's where a lot of this stuff is going. That was not my intention tonight, I promise. Any other questions that I can answer before I get off of here and go blow stuff up? Probably already too late for me to go blow stuff up, truth be told. We'll see. Oh, just so y'all know, this is one of my favorites. This is probably the most underrated accessory that I have ever reviewed. The most underrated, bar none. And it doesn't matter if the Y or Cybertruck, they make it for all of them. This one is underrated. What it is the blind spot detection system. And to give you an idea how underrated this is what inspired Tesla to make that update a couple months ago, where if somebody's in your blind spot, now all of a sudden your accent lights start flashing red. These things are the reason why. I called it almost a year ago and said, hey, they need to put it into the Teslas. Well, they kind of sort of did, but quite frankly, I don't think they did a good job of it. Maybe they'll improve it. I'm talking about Tesla. I mean, I can definitely make the case to still put this in your vehicle. Absolutely make the case. I have it in all my vehicles except the Model S, only because I don't think they make it for the Model S. Otherwise, I'd probably put it in there too, truth be told. I view this one as a safety issue, because not only does it give you ambient light, and it allows you to control it with the screen, the OEM screen, and it actually goes through the CAN bus, not the door. When somebody's in your blind spot, you're instantly going to know it. You're going to see it because the strip is going to turn amber on that side. And when you turn your blinker on to change lanes, it's going to flash red. It's just that simple. I view this one as a safety, and it's bright too. You're going to see it. It's not like the one that Tesla did. It's only going to flash if somebody's there. No, that little red dot you have in the speaker, the one that you can barely see, now it becomes an amber strip for you to say, oh, there's somebody there. It's not even a question until you put your blinker on, and then it turns red. Extremely useful. Very, it's pretty easy to install too. I mean, it looks complicated, but it's actually really simple. You go through my videos, you'll have it installed in maybe 45 minutes at most. Honestly, that's what it is. Once again, one of the most underrated accessories I ever put in any of the vehicles. Yeah. I don't say that to endorse Honcho, because I've been beating them up here too as well. I love them. I do. But let me know what you guys think about this. Please let me know. No, I don't have it. I'm thinking about it. What do y'all think? Yes and no. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I think this is one of the ones that goes in the doors. If I don't miss my guess, it probably does. Let me look. Oh shoot, this thing hasn't gone all the way around the hood. AI much? Oh, that's the Model 3. Oh. So the Model 3 goes all the way around the hood, and the Model Y only goes like partial the way around the hood. Oh. I don't know. That's kind of sexy. That's a little sexy. We can deal with that. Okay. Better question. Should I get it? And if so, which one? Ah. Go over into the instruction manual here real fast. And I'm pulling this up because, okay, this one looks like it goes into the CAN bus. This does not look like it goes into the door. It looks like, where are they bringing it in there? No, they're bringing it. Okay, okay, so they're pulling power off the headlight. I see what they're doing. All right. Yeah, they're pulling power from the headlight. I got it. All right. That's different. Yeah, that one is the Juniper, but they have one. You think the Highland's different? Let's check the Highland. Let's see if it's any different. Oh, it is different. Okay, let's see what they do here. Hold on. Pull the frunk out. Mm-hmm. Yep, left or right headlight. Same thing. Yeah. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. You pull the frunk out. It's still easier than the power frunk. And I've installed a few power frunks which weren't bad. This could be worth it. I'd do it. Big question is, do I do it in the Model 3 or the Model Y? I kind of like the Model 3 one. It goes all the way around the hood. That's cool. Oh, man. Yeah. This is craziness. Honestly, I had not seen this one yet. I have not seen this. Gimmicky or no? Gimmick or no gimmick? What do y'all think? And would it even be worth doing? Got a lot of stuff in Model Y. Oh, man. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm missing it. Where's this thing plug into? Unplug the original tail light. The tail light? Ah. All right, that's different. Woo. I don't know, guys. Synchronizes with the rhythm and beat of your music. Oh, really? There's a Magic Lantern app again. It is a good app, just so that you know. Not a problem, Alan. Peace out, man. Man. All right. Wow. That's just like wow. I don't know. That's gonna have to. Whew. All right. Didn't want to get into all that. All right. So if there are no other questions, I am gonna wrap this up tonight, guys. Feel free to hit me up. If you like what you saw, let me know. If you didn't like what you see, let me know that too, and we'll see what we can do about that. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us. Had an absolutely wonderful time here. Hopefully you've gotten a little bit of insight into what I do here and try to figure out how to save you guys money more than anything else. Don't forget to look in the description below. Use code REDFIRE20, get 20% off at the vendors, and especially Hancho. You get 20% off of any of their stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. So give me a holler if you guys have any questions. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.